Hello friends, I'm Sarah with Cleopatra's Crochet, and if you clicked on this video, chances are you're new to the yarn community and have been hearing some pretty confusing terms lately. Terms like skein, yarn barf, and whip. These are all real things, and in this video I'll be clearing up the confusion by explaining what all of these things are and much more. So let's get started with some basic yarn terminology. These are skeins of yarn. This is a pulled skein, and this is a bullet skein, more specifically. There's some of the most common forms of winding yarn that you're going to find, especially in big box stores. This is a basic ball of yarn. Essentially, after you've used up about half of a skein of yarn, it's going to get kind of messy, and a lot of people will just hand wind into a ball to eliminate any tangles so they can keep working efficiently. If you have something called a yarn winder, you can make what is called a cake of yarn. This is called a donut ball. This is a hank of yarn. If you fold it, it becomes a folded hank. And if you twist it, it becomes a twisted hank. This you'll see in a lot of specialty yarn stores for your hand-dyed, really beautiful yarns. There's also something called a cone. And essentially it just means the yarn has been wound around a cone. A lot of times you're going to find yarn on a cone because it comes in large amounts of yarn, and it just looks like this. To start a project using a skein of yarn, you can either work with the yarn on the outside, called an outer pull, or if you can find it, you do a center pull. And this, since I couldn't find the start of the yarn, is called yarn barf. It's simply when you go looking for the center pull, and instead of getting a nice single strand of yarn, you end up with this mess. This is a current project that I've been working on. It's a hexagon that I'm going to turn into a cardigan by folding it like this, and I'll continue making this larger until I can seam up a side to create an arm and then have the front of the cardigan. And any project that you're working on is often referred to as a whip, which is a work in progress. Anytime you make a mistake on your project and you need to take some of it out, you're doing what is called frogging. And the term came about because when you are ripping it out, like ribbit, it sounds like a frog, so it got called frogging. Now let's talk about crochet hooks. Got all sorts, as you can see. First you have the point or tip, then you have the head. This is the throat, where it's starting to get thicker, and the throat is in the front as if this was a head, and the neck is the same piece of the crochet hook, is just on the back. So you can hear it referred to as throat or neck. It's the same feature of the crochet hook. Then you have the shaft, which is here, which is where I'm going to work with my yarn. This is the grip or thumb grip. You can see it gets a bit bigger here, and it's a lot more prominent on this one. So this is the thumb grip. And then this is the handle, essentially just where you're putting your hand. The other thing you need to know about crochet hooks is that there's two different sizing systems. There's a US version and there's a UK version. Exactly the same as if we have our measuring systems for the US and the UK being yards and meters, while crochet hooks have two different sizing systems. Some crochet hooks, like this really old one, won't have any markings at all on it, indicating a size. Other crochet hooks will have just the metric system, which is in millimeters. And the millimeter size is literally just the diameter of the shaft. It's kind of hard to see, but this is 9 millimeters. This is 5.5 millimeters. And this one is 3.75 millimeters diameter thickness of the shaft. US sizing makes a lot less sense, unfortunately. It is a combination of letters and numbers. So this 11.5 millimeter crochet hook is also called a P16. This 2.25 millimeter hook is also called a B. You can get conversion charts between the two different sizing systems, but just the big takeaway here is that there's two different sizing systems, and the millimeters are the UK and the numbers and letters are the US sizing system. Now, unfortunately, the confusion between US and UK does not end with just crochet hook sizes. On top of that, there's also a difference between stitches. Now, the stitches are the same, but what they're called is different. So a single crochet in US is called a double crochet, as an example. Again, you can get conversion charts between them, but you need to know to look in your patterns to see whether the pattern is written in US terms or in UK terms, because depending on what you learned, you may need to convert the stitches. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you learned something, please like this video and consider subscribing for more.